and welcome to Excelsior's domain. This was originally going to be an unboxing video, but for technical reasons it's now just going to be a show and tell sort of video. I have recently started collecting various starships from the Eaglemoss website, the Eaglemoss range, also known as Hero Collector, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the best way to go about doing this, because they're not terribly cheap models here in the UK. The smaller ones that come in these nice boxed packages are about this £16–17 mark normally. You can get them with just the magazines that they tend to come with. They're a little bit cheaper, but it's still quite a lot per model. So I wanted to give you some hints as to how you can get sort of best value from the website at any given point in time, and show you some of the models that I have here in front of me that are my most recent purchases. So the reason I got the ones that are in front of me is that there is a 3 for 2 offer on the site, and this is well worth having, and I shall explain why. If you were buying the £17 models, then if you get 3 for 2, you save yourself £17 because one of them is free, and that's equivalent to a roughly £5 saving per model. So if you're trying to build up your collection a few at a time, it's a good way to do it. Also, if you are buying the larger models, which are known as XL models in their Star Trek range, or some of their other models generally are just that sort of size, they can be 50 quid a pop. So you can spend 150 quid on 3, or wait until a 3 for 2 sale and spend just £100 for 3, and so you save yourself £50, which is well worth it, obviously. There are some quirks to this. At the time of recording, when I added 2 sets of 3 to an order, it didn't apply the discount for both sets. It only applied 1 discount. So I had to split the order into 2 separate orders. And as a result, I also had to buy another item on the cheaper order in order to hit £50 spend, because when you hit £50 spend, you get your postage and packing free. And it's very fast delivery with DPD, and it's very well packaged. Can't knock any of that, but it just irked me that I would otherwise have to spend £4 on postage and packing, because there isn't an alternative, slower, free postage and packing option at the time of recording. So let me begin by showing you the first ship, and this was part of my attempt to fill out my Enterprises collection, because this is the Enterprise B. And this was in the film Generations back in the day, and I'll just hold this up to show it to you. So this is, because I've unboxed them already, unfortunately, this is it on its stand, you can see there, and it's a very, very nice reproduction, as they always are. The nacelles are very firm, they don't wobble at all, unlike my old white die-cast Ertl model that I had back in the day. And it has all the elements that you expect from the Enterprise B from Generations around the navigational deflector, so it distinguishes itself from the large Excelsior model that I've got sat next door, which is a standard Excelsior. Apparently the story goes that they bolted on those elements on the front of the Enterprise B so that they could damage it without damaging the Excelsior model that it was based on, because obviously in those days they were physical models. So that's the Enterprise B, and because I got it in the box format, this is the booklet that I got with it, and I haven't really looked at the booklets in proper detail yet. They come with every model I've had from them thus far, and I think they are a major part of how they sell the models, so I will get round to that, and I'll discuss them perhaps on my next unboxing video, once my bank balance has recovered a little bit. So the next Enterprise I didn't have was the Enterprise C from yesterday's Enterprise, which sought to defend a Klingon outpost from a Romulan attack, and in doing so effectively changed the course of Federation history. The Federation and Klingon alliance wouldn't have come about had it not been for what they did. Now, this ship's quite interesting because it's a sort of an interesting mix, bridging the generations, quite literally, because if you look at it from behind, you can see that it's got the Galaxy class style of nacelles, and that's sharp, put sort of 90-degree angle on the support arms for the nacelles as well. And yet, the actual saucer section is quite reminiscent of the Constitution class. It's slightly Galaxy dimension, but not quite. But it has got a navigational deflector, which is very much the original series style of navigational deflector. So it's an interesting mix. I wasn't sold on it when I first saw it. I must admit, I felt it looked a little bit clunky, a little bit kit bashed, but it's grown on me over time. And interestingly, someone on another YouTube video was able to tell me that an ambassador class, which is what that ship is, has been seen in one other place, but not very frequently. I suspect there might have been one of the Wolf 359 debris. There was also one used in the blockade during the Klingon Civil War to try and detect cloaked wandering warbirds going into Klingon space, and that was the one that Riker and Geordi had control over. And this is that's the rather nice view on the front cover of its leaflet. So next, I want to look at the Intrepid class, USS Voyager, of course, whose registry I can never remember, so I'm going to read it from its booklet, which is there. That's classic Voyager beauty shot from underneath the source section. It's 74656. I'm sure it trips off somebody's tongue. It just didn't tend to trip off mine. So, as with the vast majority of Eaglemoss models, I believe, this does not have the ability to go to warp by moving its nacelles upwards, because it just isn't that sort of model. You know, these are static models. They're not designed to be played with, really, honest, at all. So it's nice, and all of these have varying degrees of die cast in them, so they are very sturdy, and if they're looked after, you know, they will quite happily sit on your shelves for years and years, I'm sure. So I actually think they're very reasonably priced for what you get. If they'd been pure plastic, I wouldn't be saying that, because, you know, that just feels cheaper. But because they combine the two elements, I think it gives them more longevity, so I think it makes them more worthwhile having a look at. So if you've never bought one, I would suggest that you have a dip in. Maybe don't go for one of the really big ones. Get one of the smaller ones, see what you think, and then have a dabble. But wait for an offer. They do get individually reduced sometimes, if you're lucky, but the 3 for 2 offers are amongst the better ways to get them at a better average price if you can afford to get several at once. Now, you might remember I told you before that in order to get these smaller ones, I had to get another one to get up to the £50 basket value to get free purchase and backing. So this is what I got, and it's not a starship, it's a space station. So this, of course, is Deep Space Nine, also known as Terok Nor by the Cardassians who originally built it. And I wasn't planning on getting it, but it was about the same price as the other ones, and it got me over the 50 mark just. So I wouldn't really have thought to get it, but it's a really nice model, and again, it's nice and weighty. It's got a good weight to it, and it sits quite happily on its on the lower pylons there, so it doesn't need a stand as the other ones do. So it's a really nice model, and I'm pleased that I got it, even though it wasn't particularly on my wish list. But that's quite a nice centerpiece in amongst the starships. And this actually came in a slightly larger box with good polystyrene packing, and the magazine for this is actually an A4 magazine, whereas the other ones are a slightly smaller format because they come in smaller boxes. The next one I got was the Alien Derelict ship from the original Alien film and the subsequent Aliens film, which are sort of my Aliens films in that sort of sense in terms of timeline. So you can see that's a very unusually shaped ship. It's a very unique ship in the sense that it was a truly alien ship. It doesn't have the sort of the bilinear symmetry that you're used to seeing in sort of human-made ships, and even, you know, typically other alien ships that you see on screen as well. So classic sort of H.R. Geiger approach to things, very organic. But, you know, looking at it, you don't know whether or not it's a cargo ship or a war ship or anything like that. But that's as it should be, because, you know, why would aliens think like us in terms of their design methodology? So that I'm going to add to my my Narcissus shuttle model, and that was the shuttle that Ripley used to escape from the Nostromo in the course of the first Alien film. And this comes with a certificate of authenticity. Put your teeth in for that one. And again, it's a slightly, I'm not sure if these ever come out on magazines. So this leaflet is much lighter than the other ones, but I'm going to have a look at that in due course as well. Now then, this, it's a shame the other video didn't work properly, because the look on my face when I unboxed this was priceless. This is a Viper Mark II from the reimagined Battlestar Galactica series, and she's a beauty. It's an epic piece of kit, that beautifully detailed, really heavy, and she's big. I mean, that's probably getting on for sort of 20 centimeters, you know, nose to tail, basically. So that's a really good, solid display item. And I couldn't get a Viper Mark 1 in the deal, but I went for this one because it has the look of a Viper Mark 1. You know, the coloration is effectively the same. And I've got a Cylon Raider old school and a Cylon Raider new school, which it will sit between and play with quite happily. And it kind of fits in both timelines because it looks like the original one, but obviously it is a new series of version as well. So really pleased with that. Again, got it because it was in the 3 for 2. And at some point I hope to get the Mark 1, because that's the one that is my childhood, basically. That's the one I remember from my childhood most, obviously, with the original cast involved. Speaking of which, beautiful seamless segue there. That's its quite chunky brochure leaflet for that one. And I'll segue seamlessly into the final purchase on this particular visit to the store, which was this. And this, of course, is the original Battlestar Galactica and Pegasus and all the other Battlestars in the fleet. I was a little bit surprised with the size of this one when I opened it. I think I was expecting something a little bit bigger, because these models from the Battlestar range are not cheap. They are at least as expensive as the XL Star Trek models. So, you know, you do expect a certain amount more for these. It's really good weight. I just thought it was going to be bigger somehow. I mean, perhaps I'm being too harsh. I mean, the level of detail on it is still incredible. You know, you can see every single little sort of lines just along the sort of the dorsal surface there is remarkable. But when you compare it to the size of the Viper is actually, you know, it feels like you're getting more for your money from the Viper, which is kind of odd because this obviously is a capital ship. But it is what it is, and it's growing on me. And the other thing I noticed as well is it's not as deep height-wise as I thought it might have been. But that's by the by, you know. So all in all, I was very happy with these, and they fill nice gaps in my current collection. I still need a few more Enterprises. I'm missing E. I'm missing NX-01. I'm missing not the A, but the original Enterprise from the original series, and that, you know, obviously the classic Constitution class I don't have yet. So again, I'm going to wait for the next deal to try and find those, because that is by far and away the most economical way to do it. So I hope you've enjoyed me flicking through those. Sorry, that's the Battlestar Galactica leaflet for you. So they've always been very high quality models. The delivery has always been extremely fast, and I really can't knock it at all. So have a think about it if you're into your starships and your old science fiction, your new science fiction. I hope that at some point they will bring out Babylon 5 models, because all I've got at the moment are micro machines, which are teeny tiny and not much good for display, but I do have some displayed on my shelves, because they are literally the only thing available at this point. If you go onto eBay, I hasten to add, and they're not current. But I did want to mention that they also, Eaglemoss are about to bring out Space 1999 models of the Eagles, the famous Eagle spaceships from the series from the 70s. And at the moment, of course, I've got my LEGO Ideas Eagle, which is gathering support over on the LEGO Ideas website. It's got just over 1,500 supporters at the moment, but I need 10,000. So if you care to go and have a look and support it, it's free to do so. It's not a Patreon. There's no money involved. It's just a vote. So I'll leave a link in the description below, and if you can click on it and support it, that would be lovely. Thank you. And we'll see how she gets on. There are various videos about it on my channel as well that you can have a look at if you'd care to. So thank you very much for watching. I hope the quality of this one is going to be a lot better than the live stream I attempted. But this will be my first full-on face-to-face video of this sort of ilk. Generally, I've tried to keep out of them, but I thought I might as well have a go at doing it face-to-face because I think people prefer that. I think you probably prefer to see a face talking to you rather than just a voice out of the box. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.